Hi everybody, Patty Ann here again. Hey, today I'm going to show you how to applique a canvas bag from start to finish. All you'll need is the canvas bag, some embroidery thread, some light steam seam 2, perhaps some of this Terial Magic, your fabric, and a little mini iron of sorts, and you're ready to go. So let's get started. Okay, here we are in Embrilliance, and as you can see, there's a item over here with a plus sign by it. When there's a plus sign, that means you can click on it and you can see the components that make up the design. So the first thing that comes up is embroidery white, and if we open the stitch simulator, we can see that embroidery white, well, you know what, let me change it to a different color so you can see it more easily. There we go, yellow. Okay. And I did that later on too, I think, when I'm showing you something. But you'll see that the embroidery white is his teeth and then his body outline. And then after that comes the green, which is the tack down. So the first is the placement stitch and the teeth. The second is the tack down. And then after that will come some of the satin stitch. So since the first one includes his teeth as well as body shape, I'm going to click on the leaf green one. And I'm going to come down here where the color swatch is, click on that, and come up here to where it says Applique. Click on Applique. Right now it says not Applique, but I'm going to change it to Applique Position. I'm going to inflate it by 1.5 millimeters, and I'm going to say Save. Now I did mine in my Cameo or in my portrait. Let's say you don't have that machine. You can come right down here to this drop down and change it to a scan and cut file. Or you can change it to Sure Cuts a Lot or a scalable vector graphic, which is what would be used in your Cricut machine. So that's how easy it is to do this. And then all that you do next, when this is done and you've saved it, just cancel this out or exit out. Then you'll open up either your Cricut, your Scan and Cut, or in my case a Silhouette, and I'll find the design, and it comes in with no color, to be honest. Let's see, because I've already used this. It comes in looking like this, right? This is my studio file, cut file. I changed it to green just because I think it helps me to see it more clearly. Then all I do is I cut a piece of fabric that's going to fit this, and I put, and I'm going to explain this more in detail soon, but I put some Terial Magic on top, and then I put light steam seam 2 underneath, and then send it to my cutter, at which time, now my machine's turned off so this won't work well, but I tell you in the video what my settings are, but you'll have to do a test for yours. So let's continue. Okay, here you can see the size of the bag I'm using. It's roughly about, let's see, here's 12 and 6. So it's roughly about 18 inches wide by, oh, I don't know, 12, probably 16 inches tall. If this bag didn't have a zipper at the top, it would be easy for me to take apart this side seam and be able to put my piece in there, but I don't want to mess with that. I'm afraid I might mess up the zipper. So what I'm going to do is turn this bag this way, open up this, and I will be placing my 5x7 hoop in here. Now, of course, remember, on the 5x7 hoop or any of your hoops, this is not the center. This little mark right here is the center of the hoop. So when you're centering things, be mindful of that. So I'm going to go ahead and get some tearaway stabilizer to also hoop with this. By the way, I got to tell you, these bags are not only good for doing applique, but also this is one I had done before, and I did rhinestones on it. So I have a video showing this. All you have to do is go to my YouTube channel and look for rhinestone bag, and you'll see how I teach how to put or make a rhinestone design that you can cut with your Silhouette or your Cricut. Okay, I'm ready to prepare my fabric to be cut on my portrait, You would do the same thing for a Cricut machine, or you could do the same thing for a scan and cut, any machine you might have. I always use this stuff, Terial Magic. If you'll notice right now, my fabric is very floppy. Once I put the Terial Magic on it, it's going to give it a nice stiff body that's going to make it really easy to cut on my machine, whatever machine I have. So I'm letting my little mini iron heat up. I also have to go grab some Steam Light 2. So I can see here that the size I need it to be is about 5.5 by 7.5. Okay, this should be about the right size. Perfect. Okay, see if this little baby, it makes a little noise or the light gets green when it heats up. I'm heating it up to the hottest temperature. However, I think I'll just see what it feels like now. It's already getting hot. I really like this. I did kind of review it in my past video where I made Layla's shirt, and of course I made her a bag as well. This is going to be for the bag, and I'm going to show you how I went about doing that. Let that finish heating up. Okay, I noticed when I talk about the Steam-A-Seam that I usually call it Steam-A-Seam Light or Light Steam-A-Seam. It's actually, what is it called? Light Steam-A-Seam 2. So I don't know if what I've said before would confuse you, but it's Light Steam-A-Seam 2. I can see that this is already getting pretty dry, and you can probably begin to see that it's no longer as limp as it was before. This part down here is still a little limp. Maybe it's not dry. All right, now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece, because I'm going to take my Steam-A-Seam, Light Steam-A-Seam 2, kind of wiggle my fingers together to get these to come apart. And whichever side is not sticky, that's the side I'm going to throw away. This side, I'm going to put sticky side down on the wrong side of the fabric. That, and then simply iron it on. After this, this will be the perfect material to send to any cutting machine. Okay. I should have trimmed off this little extra edge right here, because I see I'm gluing it to my ironing surface. So I could go ahead and cut this off. So I quit adhering it to my ironing surface. And this little edge here that's not, doesn't have any Steam-A-Seam 2 on it. Alright, so again, just one more little pressing, and it's good to go. So the next thing that I'll do is get out my mat, and yes, I know my mat's horrible, but you know what, for this purpose, it doesn't matter that it doesn't have much stickum left on it, because this piece is going to have stickum. Here's my dirty old mat. I'm going to take this piece, and I think I'll make him go, should I do long ways? I guess I'll make him go long ways on here. So I have to peel off the paper backing of the Steam-A-Seam, Light Steam-A-Seam 2. Again, this is not sticky. Throw it away. And put this piece down on the mat. So now I'm going to move my little iron guy out of the way and bring over my portrait machine. And it should be just about ready to go. Here it is. It's plugged in, turned on. I'll just bring this right into here, like so, and hit enter. All right, and then I'll go back up to my Silhouette software, and I am going to go ahead and change my dinosaur. No, I want him to be this way, yeah. So I do want him to be this way. I do want to turn on my show cut border to make sure he's not too far out. Looks perfect. So I'm going to say send. And then I'm going to go ahead and change my settings. I have it on fabric thin, auto blade. I have my blade depth at 7. my force at 30 and my speed at 3. These are just numbers that I've chosen. You'll have to see what works best for your machine depending on how old your blade is and that kind of thing. So I'm going to hit send, and the stroke begin cutting. Okay, that has finished cutting, but I always like to take a piece up and check to see, did it cut well? Did I have my settings nicely done? And sure enough, it looks like I did perfectly. So I can take the whole thing out now and take it apart. This is trash, and this is my good dinosaur. So I'll carefully take him off of here. I don't want to stretch him, and keep him until I'm ready on my bag. And put away my portrait and my mats, and we can go on to the next part. Okay, as I said, I'm going to use tearaway stabilizer because that's what I used in Layla's, and it worked really well. The only difference was her hoop could be put in this way with the little this piece that goes into the machine coming out toward the handles. However, if we did that with the dinosaur, he's going to end up sideways on the bag. So what we have to do for him is to put the hoop this way so it slips in the machine like this, because then he will stitch out perfectly just like that. So this is going to be a little tougher. I'm going to go ahead and put this in. And all the way, by the way, I marked with a red marker where the center is of this top part too, so I know where to put it. So I'm going to put this in my bag, push it down. Okay, I'm going to eyeball again the center, say it's about right there, and peek and see. Okay, I need to move it over just a little bit, like that. That's fine. And then I'm going to try to put this on next without moving the hoop at all. My tearaway. Shove it down in there. And I just moved the hoop. I know I did. So let's check and see again. Here's about halfway. That looks good. Alright, now I'm going to try to put this top hoop in, and hopefully I didn't close the spring or the little screw thing too. But what I'm going to have to do is get my hand in here and tighten up that screw, because I've got a bunch of finagling to do to be able to embroider this without it coming loose or coming out of the hoop. So, wish me luck. Here we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do, first of all, just start moving this like this. This is a cumbersome job, y'all. That's why sometimes those other machines that are bigger are a little bit easier for things like this. But it's doable. So if I carefully move this out, like so, and around the little thing at the bottom, I'm over here now. I'm trying to hold the hoop so that it doesn't release. Okay, so there's that part. Still working my way down here, trying to get this out from behind the screw doohickey. Okay, looking pretty good. Feel like I'm just about to pop it out of the hoop though, so try to be careful. And if you guys know an easier way to do this, let me know. And it might just be messing with that zipper. I don't know. Didn't really want to mess with the zipper though. Maybe if I look from this side. There we go. Okay. So that's just about done. Other than, I'm going to really have to worry how to get this out, because it has to be able to go into my machine. There we go. This takes work. Perfect, I did it. Okay, so there it is. It's ready, but boy, oh boy, it's scary, right? So I'm going to really have to babysit this while it's going to make sure that nothing gets underneath it here. Okay, my bag has been loaded and it's ready for step number 1. That's going to take 2 minutes because it's going to do his teeth. So let's get started and see how this goes. Cross your fingers for me. Oh. But see, since I cut this out, imagine how much easier it's going to be to just stick this on and heat set it with my little mini iron and go, instead of having a big piece of fabric that I have to try to trim around, especially on this bag that's so cumbersome. Okay, there it is, just perfect. So I'm going to bring it out carefully, carefully. I don't want to knock it out of the hoop. No way, no how. So I'm really being careful. Okay. Once I have it out, I'm going to put it down here on my pressing mat. And I'll take my pre-cut shape that was done using Terial Magic and the light steam, press it down on here a little bit, and then bring my little mini iron over and really get it to stick so that it doesn't shift while it's being embroidered. That will do it. Okay, should be all stuck down. See, I can't lift up the edges now. That's perfect. Now, carefully, carefully put it back in here again. You can see. Okay. And make sure everything is out of the way, especially the handles, because I told you in that last time I did something, I sewed the handle right in there. So what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to change the color of thread. And yes, I didn't take the thread out properly. Usually I do. Every once in a while I don't. So I'm going to put this thread in there. And I'm going to babysit this. I'm not going to turn around and look at anything else. Just going to watch this. It go. Okay, and then next up will be the darker green. But you know what? I think I really want to use this color of green for this. But let's see. I'm looking at my design again. No, I better use a little bit darker one because this is going to do his arms as well. So, yeah. I'm going to go get a little bit of a darker green and use that here instead. Okay, as you can see, I have a lot of green options to choose from, right? I've got to figure out, this is the one I was using. Let's see, what might I want to use? How about that? That's sort of a, I don't know. Yeah, that's the same, isn't it? I'm not sure. Maybe I kind of like that really foresty green. I hope it shows up well. Here we go. Now, if you'll notice on my screen, it says over here that this particular step is going to take 14 minutes. So I'm really going to have to concentrate on trying not to forget to leave this alone. I've got to watch it like a hawk. Okay, we're on the last color now. The lighting isn't very good. I'll show it to you when it's done. Okay, it's finished stitching. Cross your fingers. I think we did it right. Oh, hope so. Let's see. Looks good. Looks beautiful. Gotta rip off some of this tearaway, which I can do more of later, because really, let's see what you can see. Okay, really, what you want to see, right, and what I want to see is how well did the finished product turn out. You don't care that much about this tearaway. And let's see. Turning it right side out. And guess what? It is absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I wish you could see it in real life. I love it. So cool. I wonder if I turned out a light, if it would make it show up better for you. Let me turn out this overhead light, because it looks a little, well, that's not too good, is it? Roar. Where are you? There you are. Oh, I love it. So cool. Well, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I'm enjoying making them for you. So if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and hit the bell. Also tell your friends who like to embroider. And don't forget to check out my links down below. I sure appreciate it. Bye, y'all. See you again soon.